crackhead who ain't never tried crack for the first time, a meth addict never tried meth, or even a weed smoker that ain't never sparked a blunt. You know what I'm saying? So just let that sink in that you can't get addicted to something you ain't never tried, right? So, oh yeah, I'm talking about people pop pills and everything. 1 Corinthians 6:19 says, "Our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. You are not your own; you are God's." So when you taking different drugs, you are breaking down your body down little by little in ways maybe you can notice, and maybe like some ways that you can't notice that might be like internal that you don't even know what's going on. And drugs don't affect everybody the same because, like a lot of times that in college, some people are offering me different drugs. I say no because I don't want to like have a heart attack, or I just don't know what's gonna happen if I take it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, let me get back to where I was at. So some people might say they got exposed to drugs at an early age, and they was just too tempted to pass it up. But 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, God will not tempt you beyond what you are able to bear. So if you're a Christian, you really have no excuse, right? Because he ain't going to tempt you more than you can say no to. So I'm going to tell y'all about, college, I used to smoke big weed. I used to smoke all the time in college. And I got, yeah. In college, yeah, I was smoking big weed. Me and my friends one day, we all went, because we was still living on campus. We all lived campus. We went to go smoke. We parked under, somebody. We went to some apartments, parked in somebody's parking spot. We in there smoking. Next thing you know, it's like 4, 5 cops around the car. They come beating on the door. Open the door. We tell them, eat the blunt. He eat the blunt. My other partner in the front seat, he had to do because we were smoking too. We just got a gram. Yes, sir.
What is a blunt?
I don't know if you ever been to the gas station and they have Swisher Sweet packets.
What are Swisher Sweets?
Cigars.
Oh.
They're cigars.
And how did you do that?
Look, because I ain't whoever watching on live, I want to teach them how to go home and go.
You're right.
Okay.
Right.
So, anyways. So, yeah.
Teach me.
I can't teach you, bro. I cannot teach you. I can't teach you. But anyways, so they pulled up on us. My partner in the back, he ate it or whatever, but the dude in the front seat, he still had a doobie or whatever. And so they get us out the car and they're like, oh, where's the weed? Where the weed? Like, man, we ain't got nothing. They're like, oh, no, it smells too much like weed in here. Somebody got it. And so I'm asking my partner Romeo, that's the one that was in the driver's seat. I'm like, well, what you do? I know that Ike ate the blunt. What you do? And he was like, oh, no, when I got out the car, I hurry up and threw it. They ain't even know. They searching the car. They find like this much to do. Here, put it in the little side part of the car. First spot that they look. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They found it. It's that much to do it. So they asking whose it is. So we just like, we ain't gonna say who it is. We thinking maybe, I'm thinking maybe they gonna take the driver or something.
They do.
But they was like, since there was so much smoke in the car and everybody was smoking, they had to take everybody to jail.
Wow.
So, yes, sir.
Hands up. Next time, make sure you roll all the guns. At the same time.
They always rolled. It's just he didn't eat a dude.
If you got 5 dudes, that's what you got 5 rolled up. All 5 y'all be like,
Hey,
at the same time.
hey, Bobo. Where at what you get out here?
Hey, I go up there a little,
Bobo, we're trying.
I'll go.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Yes. Look.
So, anyways, I end up having to go to jail that night. I had to get my girl to come get me out. But even after that, you get out of jail, you gotta go to court. And you gotta court fees.
Money.
And then you end up on probation. And I had got a pretty decent lawyer. It was a court-appointed lawyer, but I got this black dude. But all my other partners, they lawyers was white. And I was telling so I'm telling the black dude, I'm like, hey bro, I'm like, this ain't never happened to me before. Like, help me out. And so he had got me some type of deal, like pre-trial diversion or dismissal. Pre-trial dismissal. So I was only on probation for like 3 months. Or whatever, couldn't smoke, the drug tested me. I'm in there. I'm in there, peeing the dude in there with me or whatever. And I'm like, man, that's a whole lot to go through, just for me to, get out of there. Now I'm not gonna say I never smoked weed again after that day, But I'ma just say that it's really not
Don't
worth it.
go
And
to,
then-
don't go to nobody else's apartment, stay at home.
Or be in your house. But if you in the dorm, you can't smoke in the dorm. That was the thing. I ain't know nobody stayed off campus shit. Cause that was like my freshman or sophomore year. Yeah, I know it sucked. But anyway, so that was one story. So that's how one time it ended up at. Another time I had a friend named Logan. He was a white boy. He was in a fraternity. And Logan, he always got he worked with me at Walgreens. He had everything that you could want. He had weed, cocaine, pills, any type of pill that you want. And he was well, actually his roommate was, but nah, he was just in a fraternity, like white boy fraternity. Them white boys get messed
Y'all
up.
be having a big old bowl
But let me
party?
tell you guys, I'm gonna share my testimony with my oldest son in college. He experimented with weed. They laced it with something,
Got a roll on.
and you have to be very, very, very careful with that because we went through a whole episode with my oldest, and this is the last part of last year. Praise the Lord that he is back to himself and he's good. He's in his right mind. But I had him put away. I had him actually put away for a while because it really messed up his mind. But prayer does wonders. I'll tell anybody that because everybody was telling me his dad, who is a MHMR, who's a therapist, kept telling me, when they go through this and they're damaged, they probably will not come back. And I kept telling him, I don't believe that. I know God's going to restore my son. I know what God promised me. I know. Now if you see my baby, he is healthy and wiser. And I guarantee you he won't do that anymore because it scared him. For one, he probably didn't think that I was going, okay. And let me tell you, when you have an adult that's over 21 that has done something like that, you have to go through a lot of things because they are an adult. They can make up their own mind. And I'm up here trying to beg people, say, hey, I'm telling you there's something wrong with my son. I know there's something wrong with my son. We had to go through the whole process. But God, how many of you just have to know that God will actually send the right people to you at the right time when we went to the facility? One of the nurses was there. I don't even know who she was. She came in there and she actually was talking to my son, got him to sign this paper. He probably didn't know what he was signing that said, hey, my mom has power of attorney. Yep, that's it. I can't make any decisions for myself. Get a power of attorney. And I had to sit there. And that's the only reason. Otherwise, he could have checked himself out and walked out of there at any time. So I would tell any of you that if you are doing any kind of drugs, you just need to know that really you shouldn't, because I went through this firsthand where my child did not even know where he left his car. Okay, so no, I'm telling you, when I say it was bad, it was bad. Where he was thinking he could control that air conditioner and turn it off with his mind.
They gave him some PCP.
So when I tell you, do not touch it, don't touch it. I mean, I cried like I cried. Nobody else. I was still coming here, still doing what I was supposed to do. But that just goes to show you never know what somebody's going through at home. Because while I'm up in here, acting like everything is fine, my firstborn and my oldest was locked away behind some doors. And people telling me that you're not going to get your son back. No, they want, hey, you're going to have to check him in a group home. And it's expensive. It's emotionally draining too. And I'll tell anybody, I wouldn't touch it. I mean, you may think you know who you're buying the stuff from. He got it from his homeboy. Homeboy done whatever he did to it. And I said, you know what, Lafayette? And I look at him every day. Even before I left, he was getting ready to go. I said, you have so much to be grateful for. So much to be thankful for. I said, because he don't even remember half of the things he said or he did. He didn't even want to see me. His aunt is the one that had to go with him she tricked him to get it. I don't know if y'all remember that one Sunday they called me. I left here. And I left here, and that's why she had tricked him into getting him there. My best friend picked me up because y'all deacon wouldn't leave. She picked me up and took me out there to make sure I got my son checked in. I left here and went there to put him in a facility. So I strongly would tell anybody I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
That's how it was with K2 when I hit K2 for the first time.
Boy, you
First
what?
episode, I ain't been no more.
Yeah, oh my God, you see, but let me tell you what I did learn, and I think this is what did it for Lafayette. And there's nothing more, there's no deeper hurt than when your child calls you every day, 2 and 3 times a day, crying, saying, "Mama, I want to come home. Mama, I want to come home," and you have to say no. Mama, I want to come home. Then he'll tell you, "I hate you. I hope you die." You don't understand. Don't put that on any of your parents. That I would tell anybody that is the toughest decision and the hardest period I've ever gone through in my life. And that was in November of last year. I went through all of that. So, girl, he back to himself. You never know. And then gained weight and everything. You would never know. Yeah. You see? They've seen you would never know. My baby went through that. He's not even like the same young man at all. And I had to tell him when he first came back to himself, he wanted to go everywhere and tell everybody. I was like, "Baby, don't tell everybody your business." At first, I didn't want him to tell anybody. I was ashamed. I was like, "Don't you tell anybody?" Because, as a mom, you thinking you did something wrong.
Somebody need to hear it.
Exactly. He was going to his church because he goes to Covenant. He stamped there telling his testimony. I was like, "Man, don't do that. Don't tell everybody your business." But then I realized, because I was ashamed to talk about it. I can't believe I'm telling y'all. When I had to speak for the first time and share the story, Sinessa like, "I know you ain't finna tell that." And I told her. He couldn't believe
No,
it.
don't be ashamed, because I was telling her, I had that cake come out, like, "Man, you heard them tell I
You know I'm going to pray for you some
I'm
moment.
telling everybody, like,
I'm
don't
going to
do
take you to that
K2.
facility.
I was telling her, don't do K2, no, bro, y'all, wait. But I knew it was K2, you just the fact that it was called Venom. I should have known then.
Yeah.
Something, boy.
But
you know, I
just
hit it
Be careful.
Man, you can't even play.
And you know what I'm saying?
never again.
My son was thank you, Lord. He was riding off the prayers of my grandmother and my mom and everybody. So that's why you should constantly, we're moms, prayer warriors, pray for your kids. I had a close circle of friends. I text them, and they watch me go through all of this. And it's hard. I still had to go to work every day. I still had to run my business every day. And in the meantime, my son is blowing my cell phone up. So save your parents and yourself the grief, because there was young people in there. They had been in there for years. I hear it was one out in Lancaster. Probably nobody even know what it is. It's tucked way back up in there. Very nice facility. However,
That one probably.
it's very nice, but it's $1,500 a day.
A day?
A day.
And that's without insurance?
That's with insurance. That's why people don't. It's 50. Yes. To stay there, and then outpatient. When he came out for treatment, when he would go, $250 a pop, 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's half.
But
Yeah, so it's expensive.
and another part that I didn't mention.
Oh, mine
before-
was good. My girlfriend's, her daughter, when I stayed, it was 20,000. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Steve.
No. I just wanted to say that, another part that I didn't mention, after going through all that course stuff, the degree I was getting,
Yep.
I had to work with kids. So, and, in my class, it's pretty much mostly white girls. And I'm pretty much the only black dude. But then every time I have to, I got to take a class where I got to work with kids, we got to do a background check.
Yep.
Who background check keep coming back, and I got to do extra. The only black dude in the class. You know what I'm saying?
So
now
when
I
you
got-
did the probation, it's on your record. They didn't.
Nah, well,
How old were you?
No, I got an experience, but this was like when I was going through the probation.
Oh, okay,
stuff.
okay.
I was still having to go to class and stuff. So, like every time, I go try to take a class, I do a background check. I get a phone call. Oh, we need a letter from your lawyer, or we need to see, what happened with the case. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I had to do all of this extra. I'm just embarrassed. I'm feeling like, God, I'm out here looking like a stereotype. And they.
That's what I told my son.
Yeah, and I mean, one time in the middle of class, like Dr. Saraceno, she was like, like she just finished talking about,
Right.
if you got a background, you gonna have to see me. Whoop, whoop. Only person she called to stay out the class.
You.
Craig, can you stay out the class for me? Everybody knew that it was something that I did something. So that was embarrassing. And then I had to pay like almost like what? I paid like $800 to get it expunged
Yep.
off my
Yep.
account. So
That's
and
it.
that's just so I could get a job. Because if I would have did that, I got that degree, I can't even work with kids. So.
And you know, it's
And it's
sad.
just off of blunt. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even like I did
And what? That one time, you only got caught one time. See?
Exactly.
All that money.
So yeah.
Look at all, look. Wait,
So-
I'm still paying bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the one about my white partner Logan. He did all type of drugs, but I don't know. Anyway, let me get to my last point because I'm gonna close here in a second. My friend Janisha, her name is Janisha Lamb.
Ah, that's the name.
You know that?
Confidentiality, bruh.
Man,
She scared me, bruh. You know.
no, ain't nobody told me that. Ain't nobody know this going on.
Jane Doe, you keep going, Jane Doe.
Okay.
Look,
Shut up.
Your friend, Jane Doe.
look. It's on YouTube.
I thought you knew that.
Okay.
I thought you knew that.
I,
Anyway.
I forgot it was here too. I'm gonna be talking just. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, she was like the little president of her dorm. Like she had like one more year to graduate. She was real cool from Arlington.
Yeah.
My homegirl, we used to kick it, drink, whatever, party, all of us, our friend group. And so Janisha, she was older than us. She had one more year before she graduated. This back when I was still like a sophomore. And she started hanging out with some of the local people.
Right.
In Nacogdoches, we call them neck rats. The locals, we call them neck rats. So she started hanging around. She started hanging out with these older dudes, these older neck rats. We stopped seeing Janisha. We stopped seeing the girl on campus or whatever. We stopped seeing. We stopped seeing her. And then one day she came into my job at Walgreens, just clucked out, just.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She's skipping line. Hey, CJ,
wow.
Can I give her a pack of squares, half price from Walgreens? Everything she asked, it was this white guy. He was checking out. She was like, excuse me, honey, rubbing his back, talking about, you think you could buy me a pack of squares? And she was just at the top. Come to find out, the neck rest, they done got her on some shirt, PCP.
I think
Yeah,
that's
they
what.
wet. So
Yeah.
she been,
What
she
is
was
it
dead.
called?
So she ended up dropping
That's
out.
exactly what it is.
I started, she had I gave her one of my old TVs. I got a new TV. I let her hold on to my old one. Janisha dipped off. I'm like, man, where my TV? Like, I don't know where she could win.
Stole your TV?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Wow.
She just,
went to sell
she
your
disappeared.
TV for a piece of
Look,
He
no.
gotta use it, never got it back.
No, but check it though. Like, you can't find it on Facebook. If you do, it's like old posts from years back. You can't find it on Instagram. One time I painted this house.
It
for
destroyed
mama.
her
I called
life.
Mama say she ain't seen her in a couple years, so I don't even know if she's still alive.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And she was like the president of her dorm, 1 year to graduate, got to messing with some of them locals, and ended up falling off like
Let me
this.
tell you
That
that.
big.
People hate to say that, but I'm gonna tell you. My oldest, I kept bring him back because I kept telling him about some of his friends here. As mom, as parents, we see our kids hanging around certain people, and we're like, no, we know, we already. And I kept telling him about this certain person. He didn't believe me. Oh no, mama, I'm gonna bring him up. I said, you know what? Somebody told me this a long time ago. It's easier for somebody to pull you down versus you trying to pull them up. You need to get with somebody that's either above you or on the same level as you. You never ever run with somebody that's down here. Because they will drag you down to their level. I learned that a long time ago. And they'll tell you that in corporate America too.
It's not saying that you're better than
No, it's not.
It's just the level you're on. You want to excel.
You have to excel. And you have to have people that stretch you.
Yes.
You know what I
You
mean?
want people that motivate you.
That- exactly.
That's happy for you when you move on, when you do
Exactly.
something good, then instead of the one that be bitter, you don't mean you no good.
Amen.
And then the one I ready to beat up.
But sometimes you want
Let's not go there now. Catch a
Sometimes.
case.
Yeah, that's what I
No.
Like, catch a
I'm
So
trying
you
to
still ain't heard
revert
from
from
him to this day?
Huh?
So you still ain't heard from
Nah,
him?
let's see, yeah.
And I
So,
said that you still
this
mad
shit-
about that TV.
it was an old school big OLED TV, bro. I ain't got a flash. You know what I'm saying? It was a box TV. It was old, so I did that all. But I don't know what she, but
He
come,
said-
but come to find out, her dad a drug addict, and he in Fort
Oh.
Worth, and he lived in like the little homeless people home
Yeah.
they got out there in Fort Worth, and then, because I had met him one time before, like I told you, I was painting the house with her mom, baby, when I picked up her dad from the little
So the
homeless
mom doing
shelter
good, the baby
to paint with them, huh?
So the mama doing good, baby, and Craig go feed the
Pretty much, exactly. Because the mama owned the house that we were painting shit through the
Oh,
honey.
okay.
But anyways, you know, she just ended up like that. That's crazy. But I just
Do you think
He was an awesome mess.
But you know, so anyways, in closing, I just want to say, it's best just to stay away from them. I mean, to stay away from drugs and people who use them. Always remember that you're not your own, you're a God, and our body is a temple that we should take care of daily,
Yes.
spiritually and physically.
Yes.
Amen. Yay, great lesson.
Amen. I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that's what's the word you use? Like if the father is like he's an example father pregnant, mother isn't, when you have a child by that person, do you think it's
Hereditary.
hereditary?
No.
No.
Hereditary.
No. Everybody chooses their own. When you have a certain age,
I think
you
you
are
got
doing,
a
you gotta count for your
predisposition.
own.
Now I like what he's saying.
You got a predisposition.
I like his. I like what he's saying.
That's why, like, how Janice fell off to be an addict like that. I think she
You-
bring this bitch up, like, you know, she said if that was me, you know, maybe I wouldn't have fell in like she did, but I think that she already started off with a bad
Right.
end. And like she was more likely to go down that road with somebody who, you know, didn't have a parent.
But you know what I think also for CJ and probably even for my son as well, it's all about that foundation. It's about that Christian, that biblical foundation that you laid with your kids. A lot of children, we all in here been kids, we all done things we shouldn't do and we strayed away. But that raising, you know, that what they put, yes, it pulls you back. You know, the Bible tells you that. You train a child up in the way he should go, and when he's older, he won't depart from it. So I think that that's probably the case with you. I know in my case, I would tell anybody, I believe that as a mom, I sheltered my child too much. Lafayette was in private school all the way up until he was pretty much in high school. And he was in a Christian private school. So he never got exposed to exactly. Him and Gabriel are like night and day.
So
You can tell. Gabriel is more stern. Lafayette is very soft. He's soft-spoken. He's very, he's just a sweet, gentle child. Gabriel is more rambunctious. He's bolder. He's stubborn as all get out. He's just different. But I think it's because he's been exposed to more than Lafayette was. And so I think that, you know, as moms, we think we're doing them a favor a lot of times because we cover them so much. But when they go out there in the real world, like when he went off to college, he was not ready.
It's a doggy dog world.
Yes, he wasn't ready. He went off to college. He wasn't prepared.
Exposed, because I had a teacher tell me that I shelter here. I like a teacher told me back when she was in
See, and it's hard. You know,
So what is exposing them? I mean, you can tell them about drugs.
I just let them go outside.
no, for me, I think you probably just like me. You just like it.
I know
Go
this
ahead.
one lady, she had like 6 kids, but she had girls and boys. But with